Have you made any New Year's resolutions, Chuck?
Yes. You know how I always dread the whole year? Well, this time I'm only going to dread one day at a time.
I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
Hello, everybody. It's a ping.
It's Stephen Chang, and it's a team of freak.
It's a Tima and
It's a
Steve.
team of freak.
Welcome to Project Reclamation.
PR.
You have,
Setting a
Jabubba,
PR with
Schmuck and Backfat.
Ooh,
Chuck and Backfat. That's
No,
right.
Schmuck, Jabubba, and Backfat.
That's right.
That's right.
This is. It was
I
a
know,
shout-out to
but
an
these
old
are new
episode.
nicknames, and they haven't stuck yet. So
Maybe
I
they're
don't know,
just jumping in
I
on
really
this
hope they
episode.
don't stick. Let's be honest. I don't want them to stick. Steve, you weren't on the episode, but we were talking about
I
initials,
was.
and I was commenting on how my initials are fat backwards,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I
somehow that became Backfat.
I
and
think
that
I'd
just
listened to
became
the
bacon.
episode.
Oh, nice,
I'm a
nice.
dedicated
yeah,
listener.
It's bacon, brah.
Oh, Steve is a listener and a host.
Yeah.
You're such a
Wow.
Renaissance man. Steve.
Coming around universally, just
Yeah.
circumventing Project Reclamation.
That's a good new word.
It would be a good word.
I took it from
if
Joe Bluth.
Steve
off
could
of,
actually say it right.
Circumvent. We must circumvent, Michael. Joe Bluth.
Who's Joe Bluth?
You don't know Arrested Development?
No.
No, I've watched some of it.
Don't you dare say that you don't like it.
No, that's the ones I watched were. I just, dude, I don't know.
And the new
I don't
ones.
know. I don't get. I mean, maybe it's just
Terrible.
above my head, but it's just not that funny to me.
I just haven't. I don't know.
You guys. It's pretty good, guys. It's because I'm above it. Okay, that's why
dude,
I can see it.
Dude,
That's
the
why I
humor is
laugh at
amazing.
it.
It's a good show, from what I can tell.
Is it though? Is the humor amazing?
I don't know. Maybe it's not. I was trying to be fucking positive, dude.
Sorry,
It's all amazing.
The humor fucking
The humor
sucks. It's
is
a garbage
incredible.
show, and anybody who likes it should probably go to a fucking.
Wow. This is Tim's. It's almost like it's Tim's version of Tony Robbins' seminar.
No.
If you like it, you're dumb.
I am not your guru.
If you like it, you might have a mental problem.
I know.
You should probably.
If
Yeah.
you think this is
Anyways, I don't. I just funny shows in general. I don't know. They haven't interested me in a long time.
Dude, I was
Really?
telling you guys. Well,
Yeah.
I was updating you guys on my Friends Watch 2018.
Yeah.
I started rewatching Friends because I had never watched
Yeah, we talked about
I had
this.
never watched the series, and I just finished it apparently. It's season 10,
You
like
watched
last
all
episode
10
17.
seasons?
Yeah, I watched all.
Jesus
10.
Christ.
I've been working on it for like 2 weeks, man.
Wow,
And,
you watched
it
10
is-
seasons in 2 weeks. Do you
Yeah.
Do you do anything else?
No, I just come home, turn on the TV, I kick my feet up, kick my little mitts up, and then just watch some Friends. But I wanted to get a good feel of it because it went on for 10 seasons. Obviously,
Yeah, dude, that's a lot of, and it was
that's a
like,
lot, dude. 24.
It's not one of these
shows a
like
season.
10 episode seasons.
They were getting paid, I think,
It's what,
$1 million
20
an
it's
episode
what,
or something like
23?
that.
Wow, can you
somewhere around
imagine?
It's 20 plus episodes a season, right?
Yeah, it was like the
Yeah.
longest seasons were 24 episodes.
Yeah, somewhere between like 21 and 24.
Yeah, so like
Because
season
they were
5, 6, 7, 8.
30-minute episodes, right? It was like a sitcom.
Yeah, like 22.
Oh yeah,
minutes.
so when you watch it on without that's like
22
that's
minutes
crazy.
an
22
episode.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do know from recent experience
Go
that
on.
an hour-long episode watched without commercials is around 41 to 42 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 42 minutes.
Back in the day, I heard that it was like a 30-minute episode was really 18 minutes. Like of
That is
actual
crazy,
footage.
dude.
It wouldn't surprise me because it takes so much to make a 30-minute even 22 minutes of content. It really,
Yeah.
really does because like you hold things like we talk on this podcast we just babble, and we're amazed that we get 42 minutes of like nonstop content.
Yeah.
But they have to kind of switch cameras. They're always like flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping. So it's just like, oh, golly.
Well, and
But
the
it always
stories
impresses
and,
me.
and you want it to be accessible and
Yeah.
moving quickly.
Yeah, but the thing that impresses me most, bar none, and this is a shout out to you, Hollywood, is that it's crazy when you talk about programs like Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, all these like As the World Turns or whatever. All these like daily soap operas that have to produce or push out 7 days of content, or 5 days of content for 8 months, dude. Jesus, I
That's
don't even
guaranteed
know how to do
work, though, man. That's good.
No, but it's a shit ton of content.
Dude,
is a
you
shit
talking
ton
about the
of
writers
content.
that dude, you have next week's scripts
But that's
already
why
like a month out.
it takes them an hour to do as much content as you could. Should take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's why everything
It
is so
just blows
drawn
my
out,
mind.
so dramatic. Oh my god,
And you can't
blows my
see it because it's
mind.
behind that weird.
it's dramatic.
filter.
Wait,
It
he's
looks
my
like- it
brother
looks like-
and
it
my
looks like
dad.
it looks like you're squinting at it. Like, is this really happening?
It's the dramatic filter.
The dramatic. Yeah,
Dramatic.
that's the technical version.
Bingo.
Yep. And
Bingo.
that's,
Bingo.
Pretty much what's up. Yeah.
Classic.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Classic. Classic content. Classic content. Man, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You know what it is? It's getting to be around that time. It's getting to be around that time where winter is starting to kick into full gear. It's almost
Yeah,
that
like
New Year's
really is
time.
winter now. It's like
It's all that ball
Yeah.
dropping time, bro.
9 days into winter, 8 days into winter.
I mean,
technically.
granted, we're sheltered and whatnot in San Diego.
That's right.
And when I say, "Oh God, it's cold here," yeah, it's not cold by anyone else's standards, but yeah, like today, I think
it's colder.
it was still like 55 degrees.
Well, bro, check
was
this
like
out.
our high.
I dropped my sister off at the airport and everybody. And it was I don't live near the airport, but I was at the
Don't live
airport.
that far away, dude.
No, but as I was at the airport, it was 44 degrees because I marked it on my car. I was like, wow, that's cold. Then as I
what
got
time was this?
this is 6 a.m. ish.
All right.
But check this out. As I went back to my house, there's like this little I don't know, storage depot or whatever, and they have like a little clock.
I know
and they have
exactly
a
what you're talking
temperature.
about.
Yeah, and usually we'll take the temperature and usually
Sure.
take the time. And usually we'll pass by it in the summer and it'll be like, oh, it's 103, and I'm like, it's not 103, it's hot, but I don't think it's 103. And then I'm like, oh, but it'll be hot. It'll be definitely in the 90s plus, 99s plus or something like that. And then today I looked at it because it was like you can see it from far away, and it said 37 degrees. And I was like, 37 degrees, my ass. Like it's not in the 30s. I was like, give me a break. This is San Diego. Then I looked at my truck and I was like looking at the temperature, like it said outside temperature, and it said 38 degrees outside.
No way, dude.
It's 38
have a
degrees
truck?
in my neighborhood. Well, my dad has a truck,
That's
and I
crazy.
was
Oh,
shipping everyone in.
Gotcha.
I didn't know it was that cold.
But dude,
Fuck.
I thought it was like 38 degrees in San Diego, and I don't doubt it because I was actually really, really cold this morning. I was like, wow, I don't want this life.
Yeah,
anymore.
last night was one of the cold. Yeah, last night was one of the, and it did not really warm up today. Like it has been
No,
recently.
it was probably 50 something today, 54, 50.
I think the high was 54,
58.
56, depending.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
we're warming up tomorrow, and the high is 54 tomorrow.
See, we might as well be living in Nashville, bro.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's like a cold. That's
I think if I lived in the cold, I would have like cold weather clothes and shit.
Yeah.
I don't.
I hope that you'd have cold.
it's called the
weather
hoodie,
clothes.
bro.
I think you would get used to it. Your body would get acclimated to it. Like that's
Totally,
how. But
yeah.
it takes
Acclimate.
like 2 or 3 years though. I will tell you that much. Then you start craving it a little bit. Then you're like, oh, I could run in this, and I could start doing
run in the
stuff that.
snow.
Yeah.
You put on some snowshoes.
God, dude, I don't miss that, dude. It's so weird.
Fuck
It
that,
was so
dude.
cold, and I was so miserable because it was dark, it was cold, and
Yeah,
like
dude.
instantly that throws me back to the east, and I'm like, nah, I don't miss this. I don't care for this shit anymore.
Dude, Steve gets those. You get those DC flashbacks.
You
Yeah,
get
those
the
like flashbacks of me
he
like
gets the
trudging.
sadness.
I know, yeah, dude. I get thrown back trudging to the metro, and it's all like snow on the floor, and it's like cold outside, and you're like having to deal with like a bunch of like just random ass shit, and like people like just zip by you, and you're like, oh, god damn it, I hate this so much.
I don't know. There's
Why am I
something.
here?
There's something that's slightly charming about that. I guess.
No, I mean, dude, there's always charming things about
City
everything.
living in the cold. It's like
Dude, it was beautiful. Like the opportunity to do that is really, really cool. But at the same time, just like everything, it wears on you until you find something that doesn't wear on you enough, and then you're like I'm willing to settle.
Sandy Huevos.
Sandy Huevos, man, my buddy Obi Bobby, he loves it down here, bro.
Obi Bobby, like
is Obi
Ocean
Bobby
Beach
coming by tonight?
I don't know. I hope not. I don't think his parole officer let him out, but he
Oh, that's
can.
good.
I'm sure we can call him.
Doesn't his ankle bracelet prevent him from leaving the house?
It does.
Yeah,
It
that's what I
does
thought.
most nights. But Obi Bobby,
That's what I thought.
Obi Bobby do what Obi Bobby do. You know.
Obi Baba
You
do
know-
what Obi Baba do.
Yeah, you know.
Golly.
Ocean Beach, where the ghetto meets the sea.
Oh,
Beautiful
that's like I think that was like that was the purpose. That was the base. That was the base start for A Wonderful Life.
It's not a bad thing, but isn't that a perfect description?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Where the ghetto meets the sea.
Where the ghetto meets the sand.
Every time a cholo goes, an angel gets his wings.
A cholo gets his
Every
wings.
time a homeless person attacks somebody,
A cholo gets his wings.
a pit bull gets its collar.
Pitbull gets his ears trimmed.
There's some nice parts of OB
Ocean
though,
Beach.
and I like how OB's like a big hill. So like you could have, there's some sweet houses that are like I don't know, half a mile away from the beach.
Oh, yeah.
like, we had just ridiculous views.
Yeah, but that's obviously on purpose because at the bottom of the hill is where all those shenanigans take place.
Where's that
Well, yeah.
Christian college?
Point Loma.
Yeah, Point Loma.
Point
Point
Loma.
Loma Nazarene.
Ooh, PLNU.
And
Whoa.
then you got,
Well, new.
and then you got USD.
God, who was one of the people that wanted to go to Point Loma? I think it was.
Nobody.
No.
Not
There was like
me.
one girl from our high school that wanted to go to Point Loma, and she ended up. What's her name? She's like you see her all the time down
Like
State Street now.
Christine Switzer or
No. It was like it was like that Korean girl that was adopted by those white people.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
You know who went to-
nobody
dude-
knows what we're talking about anyway.
Yeah,
moving
no,
on.
That's true. That's inside.
Dewey's
high
little
school
sister went to
flashback.
Point Loma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's
Sweet.
Dewey? I don't even know what you guys.
He was my big bro
Oh,
in the
nice.
fraternity.
In the fraternita.
Fraternita.
Fraternity.
But you know,
God,
even
so-
Obi Bobby,
Obi
we're
Bobby.
talking off
old
of
school stuff.
even
right
Obi
now.
Bobby will get off of probation or whatever
Sometime.
parole eventually, and then he'll
2023.
get like a fresh start.
The
Kinda
freshest.
like, you know,
You better stop it. Fresh starts, dude. You know what's so crazy is that I think about?
what's
I
crazy?
think about how it's wintertime and how fresh starts is all kind of leading into, of course, like New Year's and stuff, bro.
Yep.
You know,
You know
what? I
what?
mean?
Before we go into that, though,
Yeah, what's up?
Stephen Chang,
Yeah.
in
Oh, dude.
honor of our new format, do you have any listener questions for us?
Actually, I do. It's so weird because this is something that's going a little way back, and this is something that was even said about almost a month ago. But it was Shelby. Shelby's asking us, hey guys, what's up? Shelby, thank you very much for the podcast, listening, amazing stuff you guys are putting out. Here's what it is. You guys are talking about all these resolutions. What about like New Year's resolutions? How do you guys deal with not living up to your New Year's resolutions? I think that's a cool question, man. Honestly, it's so fitting for this moment.
Like 1080p?
Yes.
1080p?
I like
720p?
to be 4K.
I
in my
think
re-
that I
in my
live my life.
resolution.
Oh, the
I live
resolution
my life.
4K.
I live my life in 360.
Oh man.
Yeah, super low res, bro. You're like grainy.
Yep, I'm grainy, but I got character. I'm grit. It's true grit, motherfucker.
Wow. TG.
That's a good question, actually. I like that.
We're all about making not even just like making the resolutions, but just kind of continuing on like your path of success.
I'm
Like,
all
setting
for
yourself up for success.
resolutions.
Right?
However, I'm kind of against New Year's resolutions.
All right. Why?
Because I think I'm all for resolutions that have some meat behind them.
Sure.
Making it, making the announcement that you want to make a change.
That's right.
Because you want to make the change.
That's right.
I feel like New Year's resolutions are kind of bullshit because, I mean,
Why should
it's a
January
joke
1st be the
because-
day that you?
Well,
Exactly.
that, but also it's just like, oh, what's your resolution? What's your resolution? So everybody's like, oh, I want to go to the gym, and then they do it for 2 weeks, and then they fucking stop. So I think it's just such a watered down version that it's just kind of No, again, dude, if you're gonna stick to it, I'm all for it. But I think there is something to the whole like new start, new year, new
Sure.
year, new you. But
And that's
Well,
like
it's an,
cultural.
it's an
I mean, that's
opportunity, you know.
absolutely, and
it's
there's
an
nothing wrong
epic
with that,
time
but just
marker.
in general, I think.
Yeah.
To me personally, I think New Year's resolutions are a little bit watered down.
All right. Everyone's like the most common ones are lose weight, make more money,
Go to the gym more, work out more,
be a better family person, spend more time with the
I don't know.
family,
The
I
last,
guess. I don't know.
as long as I can remember, I was kind of like there was something I wanted to change around the new year. It was always more like, well, I'm going to start it 2 weeks before New Year's.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not-
So
it's
you
not
get
a
like
huge
you
run
hit
at
the
start.
ground running.
You get a run to start.
Exactly.
That's
How do you deal with not living up to resolutions? That is an interesting one.
yeah. Well, here's a question. Let's have JB kind of. I want to hear JB's take on this here. Because JB,
So
like New
here's-
Year's resolutions. What's up? What your
here's
thoughts on
my
those, bro?
be all end all way of not dealing or dealing with.
Here
not
it is, hot
having,
take.
New Year's resolutions is I just don't make them.
Well, now, when you say that, I'm almost, is it because you don't, now obviously I know you're going to explain it, but is it because you don't even want to set yourself up for that kind of failure? Or,
No,
you know, like coming short of it? Or
It's,
you just, you don't
it's
even
more
buy
of,
into it?
It's more of kind of what Tim was talking about and the fact that, like, you know what, I know the New Year's coming up, and I kind of like to preempt those things with, you know, let me start this early, and I'm not going to make a big hullabaloo out of it.
That's right.
You know, because if you kind of oversell the resolution to yourself, it's hard to meet that. Like, it's hard to meet that expectation. You know, it's all about managing expectations, and yourself included. You know, you can fall short on that. You know, because, well, okay, yeah, you want to lose weight, but you've spent the whole year heavier than you want to be. So it's like, well, it's not like immediately going to have a complete negative effect on my life. So you like go through this whole thing in your head and you're like, yeah. So, you know, if you make this big, you know, one-time date that this is when I'm going to start this, when you psych yourself up, and then it's like, all right, well, yeah, you end up not doing it. So why pick that date? Why just kind of like ease into it? You know, that's right. Kind of where I'm at. Is like, all right, well, and it's not as anxiety filled. You know, you're like, okay, well, yeah, New Year's Day, this is when I start. All right, go. And you take on all this responsibility. It's like, well, am I equipped to take on all that responsibility?
That's right. You got
probably
you
not, because I'm making this resolution in the first place. So rather than,
like,
you know,
like
set yourself up for
cold turkey.
Exactly. Or quit drinking, doing anything cold turkey. It's like, well, and I'm not saying that can't be done, and people have done it and they're very successful, but the odds of you actually doing that thing for the rest of the year are a lot lower, because especially you kind of, if you don't do it at the first of the year, like you said, give yourself a couple of weeks to, you know, runway before you go, you can kind of falter and get rid of those, you know, oh, I didn't go for 2 days before you hit the first of the year. And so that way you're like, you're kind of more on a more real track.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, you know, Joe, I you know, I don't typically make New Year's resolutions, because I try and do them throughout the year too. It's like, well, I'm going to do this now, you know. Why does New Year's get all the you know, the fanfare?
Right.
It's you know, if I want to lose weight, I'm not going to in June. I'm not going to wait 6 months and do it at the first of the year.
I'm really fat and kind of unhealthy, but
So
it's June
6
2nd.
months from now.
June 2nd, man. I'm just going to be miserable for the rest of the year, because New Year's
Well,
is
it's
coming
not even
around.
that, but it's like, I know I got to buckle down, so I'm actually going to eat even more, and I'm going to gain another 15
Exactly.
pounds.
I'm padding my weigh-in numbers for when I do my weight pact with my friends at the beginning of the year.
Right. I know, like, the most successful moments of change in anyone's life are usually when they kind of have like a step-by-step process. It's not like you quit smoking, right? They go into it, they engage you in a 12-step program, right? Or if you have some type of addiction, they engage you in a 12-step program where there's smaller goals that you keep on meeting until you get to that one large goal where you stop smoking.
They give you the proper
or
tools
stop
to do
gambling.
so. Mm-hmm.
That's right. And it's not an easy process. Now, can you do something in a year? Absolutely. You could do. A year's a long amount of time. Could you do something in a week? Could you do something in a day? Yeah, sure you can. But is it going to be these huge like epics or like these huge time markers of success? Maybe not. Maybe not.
But you gotta, like JB said, manage your expectations. So yeah, you can do something in a week.
Yeah.
But if that thing is, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds in the first week, like, you're probably not going to do that, and then you're just going to be like disheartened and whatever.
Yeah, I think.
But if you're like, all right,
psychological outlook
I'm gonna
on
lose,
it is like,
I'm going to lose 2 pounds this week, and then you lose 2.5 pounds,
or maybe you
like,
even gain half a pound,
stoked.
right? Because you're like,
well, that's going to happen
you're
too.
like,
But
yeah, and it's just like it's the ebb and flow about what you're kind of doing here, and your body's changing. And unfortunately, and everyone knows this, no one changes overnight. There's no magic bullets, and like, you know, all of a sudden I snap my fingers. That's all fairy tale stuff, you know.
Especially some things you've been doing for a long time. It's hard to change. I mean, you think of like tuning a piano. If you have a piano that's been out of tune for a long ass time, you got to tune it, and then it's going to go back out of tune. So you have to tune it again.
Yeah, because it's
in like
used
a week,
to being out of tune.
and then you have to tune it again and again and again, and then eventually you tune it once a month, and then eventually you tune it once every 6 months, and then eventually you tune it, you know, once a year.
And you know, if you ever see one of those piano tuners like actually sit down with it and like do every single key and chord, it's not a 20-minute process.
No.
It is not an hour-long process. It can take like honestly 2.5 hours to fucking do that properly. And you're like, okay.
So if we're talking about changing habits, especially habits you've had for a long time, I feel like it's very similar. You know, you kind of have to work on it every day. And at some point, you know, once you kind of then you can ease up a little bit and check yourself once a week, and then check yourself once a month, and then when it actually becomes habit, then you could check yourself less. But at the beginning, like you have to keep checking yourself first of all, and second of all, you have to understand that you're going to regress at some point. You're going to backslide at some point. You're probably going to fall off the wagon, and you kind of have to be ready for that and not let it derail the entire journey.
I love this question, and let me tell you why. Because New Year's resolutions, I think you just have a time marker in your year, right? And you go, oh, okay, everyone's so time-based, and like, oh, okay, January 1, the start of everything, the start of this whole fiscal year, the start of this whole mental or personal or journey year, this is it. But, you know, you can really start anything at any given time. Like, oh, okay, and I'm going to make this kind of personal here, Tim. You underwent a big life-changing thing on, like, I think December 22nd or something like that. I don't even remember. December 19th.
It was like around the 20th.
Yeah, it was around the 20th. Yeah. And like, I was like, okay. And then think about yourself for a year from now. And look at you, man. You look great. And that's a year later.
You, buddy.
That's 365 days, man. And it didn't have to be, you didn't schedule your surgery January 1. I need to have this January 1. You chose any kind of time in history, in your history, and you started moving from there. So that's awesome.
Well, and I've never made that many changes.
Yeah, either which way, both
yeah.
count. But yeah, I think the coolest part in the world is that, like, yeah, dude, if you are a person that needs these big time markers, like, oh, by December 25th of next year, this is what I want, or by February 14th, I'm gonna have a person to call my own, or by, I don't know, April 15th, I'm going to make sure all my finances are, if you need those big time markers, that's great, because that just lets you know, like, maybe keeping you on track.
You know,
it's a goal setting thing. But the one thing that I always caution about, unfortunately, with like these people or anybody who sets these big markers, including myself, is that don't let yourself get despaired. I mean, Shelby brought up a great question. It's like, what do you do sometimes? How you like kind of manage your expectations about, like, you know, when you fall short, or do you fall short of expectations? Yeah, I think falling short of expectations, that you kind of have to build that in to your overall success.
Well, I think it's managing the fact that you're going to fail along the way.
But hopefully you've done those appropriate little tiny steps along the way to counter all those, like that one setback, but you've done those 5 steps right before. So guess what? You know, it's not worth just scrapping.
Well, and it's wanting what you're thinking about bad enough to realize that a small setback isn't going to derail the fact that you want it.
Exactly.
That's right.
I think it's also a little bit about, like, kind of living in the gray, because I think so often we have this whole black, like, you know, it's like a lot of people, they ask me about keto, or they're interested in keto. It's like, and a lot of people do have this black and white approach to keto or any diet. Like, you're either 100% in or you're not at all. And I don't know. I come from a different school of thought. I'm like more like, yeah, keto's keto, whatever. You want to be in ketosis, so you're burning your fat. But at the end of the day, if you're 85% on keto and you screw up a little bit, don't let that just derail you completely. Like, don't just go eat a bunch of chocolate cake and shit. There's no point.
Or you make sure it's keto chocolate cake.
I'm just saying, you live in the gray a little bit, because you're not always going to be perfect. And when you're not perfect, don't let that completely, like, set you back.
Yeah, or you could honestly find your own path within it. Like, you know, you borrow elements that are working for you, or are successful for you, and you borrow elements that are successful from a different program, or even your own program, or you find out what you like, and you're willing to, like, kind of compromise. Maybe like you say, oh, but I have to have chocolate cake, or I have to have beans, or I have to have something that's relatively configured as unhealthy or not part of the keto diet. Well, just, you know, maybe you can just kind of factor that in as maybe like a cheat day, or a cheat moment, or a cheat kind of section of your meal, and that's it. Like, you'll find out what works for you. And that's the biggest and most important thing, is that it's like everything has to remain dynamic. You have to be kind of flowing with it. And that's like, honestly, that's how just the new year happens.
Yeah. But
new year, new you.
Yeah, new year, new you.
But yeah, it doesn't need to be right on January 1. I guess that's what we're kind of getting at.
No,
it could be at any given time, even right now.
Despite my well, maybe all of our issues with New Year's resolutions, we still encourage you listeners to make some resolutions.
If it works,
just make it a realistic one.
Yeah, if it works, if that's the way you're gonna get motivated and empowered, dude, we're behind you. We're Project Reclamation. We're behind you. If you got something that's moving, we want to move with you. We want to help you be the gas.
But it doesn't need to be January 1 to make a resolution, and you don't have to make a resolution just to make a resolution on
That's right.
New Year's.
You know what day is just as good as January 1 to make a New Year's resolution?
July 17th.
July 17th. That's
December
right.
2nd.
To September
2 day?
December 2nd. That's right.
2 day.
2 day.
2 day.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. Like, I will tell you that like any time is the right time, and
Or January 15th.
but just know there are no magic bullets to the resolutions. Not like,
No.
oh, instant change. You're no Cinderella, bippity boppity boo. You got to put some work into it. You got to grind, and that's all right.
But on
too.
on the falling short of expectations on specifically a New Year's resolution, I feel like it's not as big of a deal
you know,
on some level because everyone makes resolutions and most people like it's like a fucking joke. Like the gym memberships, they
Yeah.
spike in January.
oh, dude,
and
I used to
then-
work at a gym.
Dude,
JB and I used to work
yeah,
at a gym.
You go to
Worked
the
at
gym in
same gym, I
January,
think.
and there's so many people there. By
January 1
February,
through
like the
30.
middle of February, it's
Gone.
empty again.
Ghost town.
So yeah, so I feel like the failure rate for New Year's resolutions is like 90%. So it's not a big deal because everyone's failing.
But it's just,
And I don't know
think
what
people set these unlofty goals and expectations sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
here's what it is. Like, this is a common one that I hear. Like, right, I'm gonna quit smoking. Right, you hear that one all the time. Or I want to lose 25 pounds. 25 pounds is a lot of weight to kind of just like lose. And plus, it's never going to be on the right time. Like, you like get to January 31st. I haven't lost 25 pounds yet.
Right.
Like, or I want to save. By next year I want to have $100,000 in the
I
bank.
want to erase my debt.
Yeah, and it's like, well, how much debt do you have? Oh, I have $100,000. I know, I have $400,000 in debt. Oh, good luck, man. Good luck.
But even if that's your goal, I think just like we were talking about earlier, 25 pounds, $40,000, $400,000, whatever it is,
Yeah.
if you don't break that down,
Yep.
it's just this giant, immeasurable, like unattainable goal.
That's right.
And no matter whether it's something you're doing in July or August or January 1st, if you have this giant goal and you haven't broken it down or made a plan or put some thought into it, it's never going to fucking happen.
And you got to congratulate yourself on like all like the kind of small victories. Like my sister told me.
Celebrate the small
My sister
victories.
told me one time, she was like, I remember just like being so flustered. My sister's a pretty smart person. She was like a big thinker, and she's like, bro, and I told you guys this too. It was like the elephant in the room kind of deal, like the dead elephant in the room. You don't get that dead elephant in the room, what's going to happen? It's going to like just really, really kind of just ruin everything, right? So you got to like kind of break it. You got to get it out, right? So how are you going to do it? How are you gonna,
Let Jax eat it.
yeah, or you let Jax eat it, but you got to kind of break it apart, right? And
Piece
like
by piece, I think.
piece by piece, right? And then honestly, when you get something big out like a tusk or a trunk or something like that, or a leg, it's like great, like keep on moving, keep on going until the project is done. That's how you got to look at yourself. And unfortunately, that's like a terrible kind of a morbid kind of a macabre example about like staying on task or achieving your goals. But it's kind of true. Maybe you have this monkey in your back or this boulder that you've been carrying. Chip away at it.
Look at you with
keep
all
on
the
chipping.
cliches.
I know,
love it.
right?
I love it.
Maybe you have 10,000 rice bowls you have to kind of deliver or something like that, or 10,000 rice bags you got to get.
You got this bonobo monkey on your back. You got a
oh,
shaved
God.
chimp on your back. By the way, if you've never Googled shaved chimp, go Google shaved chimp. It's fucking frightening.
Shimp to the
Shaved
seashore.
chimp.
I feel
Bald, like a chimpanzee that has no hair.
why would I want to do this,
Dude,
Is
it's
it
jacked.
cancerous?
No. I don't know what it is. It's just
Whoa.
jacked. It looks like. Did you
I
look it
just-
up?
Yeah.
It's
That's
dude,
trippy.
right?
A shaved
Crazy.
chimp.
Are you looking it up, Steve?
Yeah.
It's frightening and amazing at the same time.
Why is he
Ooh.
shaved?
If you're looking at the one I think you're looking at, I believe he has some sort of
Alopecia or something.
Yeah,
like that.
alopecia.
Look
Exactly.
At that. Wow, that dude is jet.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. People wonder why chimps will rip your face off.
Oh,
yeah,
because
Yeah.
they can.
go look up shaved chimp.
Oh,
Anyways,
because they
that's all I got for that.
Golly, dude.
So yeah, that's New Year's resolutions. We're heading into the dirty 30 here.
Dirty 30.
JB.
Yes.
Next segment. Do you have a good news story for us?
I do have a good news. I just scrolled past the wrong picture.
Oh, on shaved chimp.
It was a shaved chimp taking a dump. That was bad.
Shaved shrimp.
That was bad
The
news.
shaved shrimp
Here's a
is
good news
gross.
story. So,
All right.
came across this headline. Said instead of ruining the fun for a couple of friends who were enjoying the new Nintendo video game, 2 police officers accepted their offer to join in. So this guy Javante Williams has been playing this newly released Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I'm not just a video game guy. That's like where they all come together, right? You have like every video game character together.
Your guess is as good as mine, dude.
All right, moving on. Well,
No idea.
He was playing this game at his friend's apartment in Minneapolis, and that's in Minnesota for everybody who's geographically challenged.
Yeah.
They heard a knock at the
Big
door.
Easy.
The
Twin
local
City.
police.
Big Easy.
What's up?
Is that one of the Twin Cities?
I believe
Big
so.
Easy.
Minneapolis, St. Paul?
Yeah,
Sunshine State.
Yeah, Sunshine State.
yeah. Because then the other
Big
twin
sky
cities are
country.
Dallas and
Big-
Fort Worth.
Big sky country.
All right, so these guys are
The
playing this
Windy
video
City.
game. They heard a knock at the door. Local police officers have been called to the apartment based on a noise complaint from the neighbor.
Classic.
And Williams says that the actual source of the noise was coming from somewhere else in the apartment complex. The cops left, but then they came back for several more times to make sure that the noise wasn't too loud until finally Williams' friend told the squad that they were simply just drinking beers and playing Super Smash. No, one of the officers was like, "Well, what's that?" And they're like, "It's a video game," and asked if they wanted to come in and play. The two cops did. They came in and they're like, sitting down with these two dudes, and ended up playing a couple rounds and ended up being actually a pretty cool little thing. It's like, these guys were just playing a video game in their apartment. Cops came in, sat down, played with them,
Started
and they
picking it up.
put the whole thing up on Reddit, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I totally, I dig that. I think it's cool.
Dude, that's awesome. Sometimes the cops get, like I've watched a few YouTube videos and stuff like that of like some police officers, and they pull up on like a street or an urban area, and like all of a sudden people, like, you can already see that maybe there's a little bit of like a, I don't know, like a negative vibe in the
Yeah.
air, you know what I mean? Because of all the
Preconceived
recent.
notions.
Cops get
Yeah.
like when you hear the news, like this cop was brutal. Like that's one cop. Cops are
Well,
like
that-
teachers
yeah.
that get shot at, pretty much.
Well, it's like, dude, the
You
news
know?
is like Yelp reviews, like the negative.
And we're not saying
The
that shit
person,
doesn't
the
happen.
asshole that just hates everything is 1,000 times more likely to write a Yelp review about something than the people who had great experience.
Well, and we're not saying that there wasn't a bad cop that did an
Oh, dude,
unspeakable
there's-
thing, or several,
No,
several bad
there-
cops, but
for sure, there
like
have been.
let's focus on the good cops.
Dude, and it's just like, it's so fun, it's so cool that these police officers decided to take it upon themselves to actually just be like, hey man, because I think they did more good groundwork, not just for themselves, but for the whole department, for the whole
Hell yeah.
county, city, or whatever they represent. Because it's just like, you don't, unfortunately, it's like you put on a uniform. I can't tell a police officer from apart. Like it's a uniform, it's a position, it's okay. And I'm not saying it's female or male or black or white. But if someone does something great,
they're
or
all
good,
blue.
Yeah, they're all blue. But if someone does something great for the community, it's like that represents all of them too. Like it's unfortunate. It's the fortunate, unfortunate part, right? You could take a bad cop, bad seed, a bad apple that like does something negative towards a member in the community, and perhaps more along the lines of the racial stuff that's kind of going on. Yeah, that represents you too. So it's like good that these people, these blue guys, decided to kind of step up and, I don't know,
Well,
make a positive mark on their
I think it was a little bit
community.
of both, though, too. The cops obviously had the right mindset to be cool and say, hey, yeah, I'll play some video games with
Yeah.
you guys. And then the dudes, Javante Williams and
That's
his
right.
buddies, also had a cool attitude because they were like,
Of like, hey, yeah.
they could have gotten feisty with the cops.
Sure.
We're not being noisy. Fuck you. Blah, blah,
It's
blah.
like,
People
no,
get
dude,
like
we're
that
just
too,
drinking
right?
some
I
beer,
was like,
play
hey,
video
man,
games
we're
like
just hanging out.
everybody
Like,
else does.
Why are you harshing
come
our
on
gig,
in,
bro?
Come on in, play some video games with us, bro. And they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, all right. So yeah, it was just
Why not?
both people,
Why not, Williams?
Both
Let's do it.
parties were cool, and it led to something good.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it
what
looked like a
could have turned bad was
The
was
reason
good.
that JB originally thought of this segment, correct me
Talk
if
to
I'm
me.
wrong, but is that there's so much focus on bad news. Everything is if it bleeds, it leads, blah, blah, blah. And JB wanted to start doing something where we focus on some positive news stories.
That's
So
right.
Hopefully you enjoy.
Man.
But now we'll get back to our topic. Do we have a topic?
Do we have a topic? Yeah.
I think
Fresh
the topic
start.
is
Fresh
fresh start.
Fresh
Or
start.
as
Wasn't
Steve
that
puts
buffet
it,
we used to go to in high school?
that's
Fresh choice.
That
Fresh
was
choice.
delicious.
That's our topic. for today.
R.I.P. FC.
Feed us
Steve- I
chowder.
think Steve wanted to actually call the topic ball drop because
Ooh.
Steve's balls haven't dropped.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, guys.
fresh,
Cheap
fresh
shot.
fresh choice. The ball drop.
Fresh choice. The balls.
Do you guys
dropped.
remember when we used to like we all actually all three of us would go to Fresh Choice quite a bit.
That's right.
And I went in the bathroom one time to like take a waz, and this dude had like explosive diarrhea one time, and I'm sitting there washing my hands, and he goes like, and And then he goes, "Whoa!"
That's amazing.
I was like, "That's the funniest shit I've ever heard." Like
That
like
did not
his,
deter you.
His flatulence surprised him.
It's like the YouTube videos you watch where the dog like farts and like surprises itself.
Yeah, like wakes himself up from a nap.
Ah, exactly.
I do that. I do that occasionally. If I nap, I'll fart and be like, "Whoa!" That was when we had the fetus chowder incident.
Ooh.
Should we go into that?
No.
Maybe that's for a different episode.
Yeah, that's like
that's for a rest in peace,
topic.
Fresh Choice episode, debuting 2019. Stay tuned for that one.
We've already kind of dug into the whole New Year's resolution thing.
That's right.
But like, Steve, what are your thoughts on fresh start, new year, new you, new year, new whatever?
Right now, right you.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't have like a list of resolutions. I try and like obviously kind of be present like every day. But I will tell you that like whatever gets people motivated and kind of going. I mean, that's awesome, you know. And do I feel like New Year's resolutions kind of set people up for failures? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, I feel like it's an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself and learn more about what you're capable of doing. And for you to be more knowledgeable about yourself, including your failures or your shortcomings, that's also part of like the learning process about you as well. So there's always something to be like kind of taken away. There's always something to be kind of grabbed from this. And yeah, I don't know. It's an opportunity to kind of insightfully look into yourself and see what you may kind of improve upon. And I think that's awesome.
All right.
I mean, that's just me. What do I know?
Well, it's kind of for me. It's kind of like, you know, when you're on a diet and you falter. I feel like New Year's resolutions are kind of like the complete opposite of that. Like you're striving for these resolutions because you're kind of in a state of falter.
Okay.
You know, so these resolutions are like these little, like, you know, shining lights through the cloud kind of thing, you know, which is it's not a bad thing. It's just a different way of looking at it. You know, it's like you're looking for something that will jumpstart your fresh start.
That's right. You know what's so funny is that sometimes I'm reminded of this, and I don't know why it came to my head, but there are some cultures that pray multiple times a day. You know, all respect, I'm not here to talk about religion. But one of the things is, or one of the reasons why, I was speaking with one of my friends that happens to be of the same faith. And, he was saying, hey, it gives us a time. I was like, wow, you guys like pray so much. It's like awesome. But is there like, what's behind it? And he told me in retrospect, or he told me in a version that it allows him to kind of stay always true. Like it's a constant reminder at all different times during the day to stay kind of consistent with his values, his goals, and his beliefs and his promises that he makes to his own religion or to his own God. And one of the coolest parts about that is I think that sometimes when you have those resolutions, like a New Year's resolution, maybe you've been trying to battle the pounds or the lbs get into your physical or financial state for a long time, right? And you just haven't been able to do it. I would honestly encourage anybody that's listening to like look at this as just a momentary stop check and say, hey, where am I? Don't look at it as in like, hey, I need to start doing everything from here on out better or worse.
You don't look at it as like don't look at it as an assignment.
Yeah, look at it as like a check-in, like as a progress report. You know.
Well,
like, hey.
and to not to interrupt. Well, kind of interrupt because I just did. But you were saying about the praying 3 times a day. Maybe that's like a good way to look at it. Like maybe you do a daily resolution.
Yeah.
Or a twice daily resolution. You know, like give the resolution a little bit more weight and importance by why just once a year? I mean, I can't remember something that I did or thought about last year. No. You know, so why would you give something that you're thinking that's important, think about it once?
Yeah, and you could take a big goal, like I want to lose 25 pounds.
I want to save $400,000.
Yeah, but
I'm just kidding.
Well,
you
that
take
might
a big
be a rough
goal.
one. But you can break that down into daily or twice daily goals. Like, okay, my goal for this morning is to go to the gym and run on the treadmill for 30 minutes, whatever it is. And that way, boom. Okay, I did, like it's very measurable, and I did it.
Dude, like I would say 4 months ago, my goal was to get up. Honestly, was just to get up on my days off before 11 a.m. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I also go to work a little bit later, and I apologize. That's not getting into that. But I could not do it for the longest time. I just could not do it. And when I would get up, like it would be around 9 or even 6 at sometimes. I'd just be miserable. I'd be cranky pants for the rest of the day, and I just would not be a functioning human being. And I was nasty too. I wasn't like a good person. But I remembered recalling myself like, I got to keep at this. I got to keep trying. I got to keep it in the back of my mind that I want to just get up before 11 a.m. That has nothing to do with weight. It wasn't like I needed to go to the gym. It wasn't like I just wanted to appreciate more of the day. I wanted to have more viable hours of the day. And, lo and behold,
these shifts, you came onto these shifts after coming off of graveyard for years.
That's right. But, even graveyard, I was like, it was what it was and it is what it is. And, but beyond that, it was just... you adapt to the lifestyle, but I wanted to just have more viable hours. And I think now I can get up at 7:20. I wake up at 7:20 consistently every day. And it's just, it was 4 months ago, man. But it takes a while to kind of get it. It was a third of the year, but I'm proud and I can do it. And I definitely am a little more chipper, a little more sparky. So yeah, it's nice. Oh, man. I don't know what's going on. They're shifting.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Oh, it's Silent Brett. Like Silent Night.
Tim and Silent Brett.
Tim and Silent Brett. Not so silent anymore. Ah. So, yeah, I would just say, honestly, sometimes goals just take a little longer to kind of come to fruition. But if you keep working at it, even a simple goal of just getting up early. I didn't want to give up on it. It was like a good marker about where I could do for myself. And, yeah.
Sure. But even your goal was to get up early on a regular basis.
But
you... were able to do that by focusing on it one day at a time.
Yeah. And it's just like it took a third of the year for me to kind of change it. But hey, if it makes a life change, sometimes life changes aren't easy. They're not supposed to be because they literally change your life. That means that you're whatever way you've been operating, you're doing it differently now. I think we lost Jables again.
No, I'm here.
Jay.
I was just letting you speak, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that was it. All right.
Resolutions.
So, yeah.
Sweet.
I think, powering through.
I have a resolution to talk more in this podcast.
Please do.
Do it.
I know.
Steve brings up an interesting point, and I think I'm going to say that
go on.
It can be driven home by a quote from our friend.
Who? Duenta?
Duento?
Duanta Claus?
Duanta Claus?
Yeah. The Rock Claus?
Yeah.
No, it's Dwayne, dude. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He calls himself Duanta Claus.
Duanta Claus. Sweet.
I follow you, Dwayne.
So, here we go.
I follow you, Duanta Claus.
Here's our quote by The Rock.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says.
The first step to achieving your goal is to take a moment to respect your goal. Know what it means for you to achieve it. And I think this is kind of what we've been talking about for the last 20, 30 minutes. Like, I think respecting your goal means realizing that, hey, 25 pounds is a big goal, or 50 pounds is a big goal, or whatever it is. It's a big goal. Respect it in that it's not going to come easy. You got to break it down into steps, and you got to have a plan, just like anything else.
Yeah.
Well, and you like I said earlier, you got to want what you are setting out to do.
For sure.
You got to really want it.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree, man. That's why I said don't make a resolution just to make a resolution.
But I think a lot of people do that because it's like it's like, oh, what's the best thing to resolute over?
Yeah,
or resolve for. Sorry.
Yeah, just a bunch of drunk people at New Year's party.
I can talk good.
A bunch of drunk people at New Year's party. Like, what's your resolution, man? Oh, I want to... Fuck, what do I want to do? I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to wipe out my debt. I want to quit smoking. I want to...
Well, and I guess my ultimate point on that is if you wanted it bad enough, you would already be on the way of achieving it.
I agree. But if the new year rolls around and there's something that you've been kind of wanting to do or procrastinating on, I don't think there's anything wrong with pulling the trigger then.
No, for sure. But yeah, that I just, we're kind of trying to play devil's advocate on
I agree.
On New Year's resolutions. I've had a 1080p TV for so long. I want a 4K TV.
You just want a 4K TV.
That's my New Year's resolution.
That's your New Year's resolution. Is on your TV.
I don't know the difference. I mean, honestly, I think I don't even know what kind of
If
TV
you really
I
paid
have.
attention, you'd know the difference, but not really.
When I was getting a new phone, someone was like, "Oh, you have the blackest black." It's like OLO black.
You got blacker blacks.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it looks black to me." And then they're like, "Yeah, but this is like this is like the newest technology of blacks and full colors." And I was like, "Red looks red, green looks green."
Well,
black
it
looks
comes
black,
down
white
to
looks
like
white."
being able to see your phone in daylight and all this stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty much all it comes down to.
it's contrast and
And
you
best of the best phones, if you try to look at it in the middle of the day on a sunny day, is still going to look like shit.
Yeah, I think I just know
Yeah.
that I come from a generation where it was before the internet. So this right here, if you have a cell phone, it just blows me away.
You
still
come
to
from a
this day.
generation.
Dude,
where
it still
took-
does me too. Like some
Right?
of the things I do on my phone, I'm like, I had like a word processor, which was basically a typewriter with a screen on it when I was in junior high,
That's right.
and that was like it was made by Brother, and it was like
Yeah.
it was cool because you'd have like type it out.
It was 45 pounds.
yeah, you typed
With,
it
like-
out, and then you hit print, and it basically was just it was like it was a typewriter
Yeah.
printing.
Oh, dude, remember those
Yeah,
old,
the old
printers?
paper?
Remember the printers with like the side tracks with
Yeah.
little holes?
You,
Yeah,
and then you got
yeah,
misaligned.
and you had to peel it
Yeah.
off, and then you like you peeled it into the page, and you're like, ah,
Oh my
Yep,
God, dude.
yep.
I remember we got our first printer and I was like, wow, this is so cool. It was like,
Dot matrix.
yeah, it was probably like 48 inches long, right? And it was like, it just had this old ass, you bought like a whole box of paper that was just contiguously like connected and like through perforations. And you streamed it all in. And
Yep.
it was just like, oh my God, dude. Like, and then you had these big old floppy disks that was like an 8x8 like square photo with a little hole in the center like Swiss cheese. And you would insert it in, and then it blew my mind even then to like when it like saved your Word document on that thing, because I was like, how does it just imprint it on it? Like, it blew my mind. I didn't know. I had no
And
idea.
now you can have a tiny little SD card or a micro SD card with
I don't even know.
oh yeah,
128
128 gig micro SD
gigabytes.
card, like
yeah.
it's huge.
Once again,
crazy.
it just blows my mind because I think when I was
Progress.
it was 1987 or 1984, I think I was obviously in Kellogg Elementary School, and I think we were having a conversation with like Back to the Future 2 came out with the hoverboard.
Oh,
and I was like, one day we're gonna have that. That's so cool. We still don't have it today. I know there've been prototypes and whatnot, but like we still don't have that today. But beyond that, beyond a fucking stupid skateboard that flies over water or something like that, or doesn't fly over water. The coolest part in the world is the fact that like you can get the world like literally at your fingertips. You know what the coolest thing was for me when I was a kid? We would used to go down to the library and look up Encyclopedia Britannica, and we'd be like, "Oh crap!
Dude,
wow,
we had
China
to-
had like 16 pages in the
We had to learn
Encyclopedia
the
Britannica."
Dewey Decimal System.
Dude, does the Dewey Decimal System not exist anymore?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
Okay.
Do we
Do-
decimal anymore?
Do libraries
probably
exist
not.
anymore? I have no idea.
No, libraries are totally around. I go to
Yeah, I
library
know
all
we
the
got a
time
huge
now.
one downtown.
Yeah, it blows my mind though. In all seriousness,
But that was
like
how we had to research back then.
Oh my
That
God,
was our only
yeah.
choice. Like you got to
You,
go to the
and you
library.
research by topic, so it was like geology or geography, and then
And then you grab like a bunch of books,
Yeah.
and then you sit down at one of the tables
that's right.
and like just read through the books.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that is so crazy.
Now these
and then
kids
you look
just
for
Google it.
Yeah, dude, you get articles online now. and you're
Man.
like, what?
In my day, we used to walk uphill in the snow to school both ways.
Shout out to the Goleta Public Library.
Just
Oh
for
my
a
gosh.
Barks root beer.
I
Yep.
know.
Oh, y'all kids have it so easy. I would
Classic,
say.
Classic. Oh man, classic. Good quote by The Rock. Good quote.
Yeah.
Inspired all this other stuff, man. Let's take a look at this rundown here. My God.
So yeah, you guys got anything else about fresh starts, balls dropping?
That's it. No, but bro, I know you have something about a real life hero.
I
out there.
do have a real life hero.
Why don't you talk to me about this
story.
real life hero? Though?
Well, you see, Steven, onto our real life hero segment,
All right.
which we've done before,
Oh,
and now we're
okay.
gonna start doing it again. Here it is. Here it is. A resourceful Florida man is being hailed as a hero after his broken arm helped him to save an elderly woman from her burning home.
Same word.
Earlier this week, or whatever week this was written, 93-year-old Maria Cabral lit a candle in the window of her Miami Gardens home, as she often does. Except this time, the candle lit the walls on fire. Within minutes, the home was ablaze. Luckily, her 27-year-old neighbor, Altovius Powell, that's kind of a badass name,
That's a pretty cool name.
saw the smoke coming out of the house and rushed to the rescue. With Cabral still trapped inside the home, Powell started trying to break the window so he could get her to safety. He eventually managed to succeed after he used the cast on his broken arm to help shatter the glass. I said, Maria, where are you at? And she said, I'm right here. Pal told WSVN. She was right here, like
Local
standing
Fox
on the
affiliate
wall.
in Miami.
So I just grabbed her with one arm. She looked up at me and said, thank you. Pal and Cabral were both taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital's Ryder Trauma Center for smoke inhalation. Though Cabral is still recovering, Powell was mostly unharmed from the incident. When Powell was told that he is being hailed as a hero, he simply said, I'm just glad I was able to do it and I got it over with. And everybody is safe now. Cabral's son, however, told WSVN she wouldn't have gotten out of the house alive if that man didn't come here to help.
That's right.
So here's a dude just paying attention. All of a sudden, the old lady that lives next door. So here's this dude,
Jesus.
just chilling. The old lady that lives next door. He sees her house is on fire, and he runs out and actually does something. Pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. Man, good on you, people from Miami.
Yeah,
And look
I
at
like
that.
hearing those stories.
Yeah, and according to his own response to this, he's like, "Well, I'm just glad I was there to help. Like, it was cool. Like, I mean, it didn't take a whole lot of effort. He just had to go. Granted, he did break a window and go into a burning building to save an old lady, but at the end of the day, he's like, well, yeah, it wasn't a big deal, but to her and her family, it's like, no, that dude saved my grandma's life. Or, that dude saved my life. So it's cool. So, again, I like the positive shit.
Well, okay, I'm going to end this episode on another cool story I heard.
Do it. All right.
Did you guys see the dad? So his daughter was, she's a flight attendant, yep.
Yeah.
And she was flying on Christmas Eve and the day after, so he basically flew every leg that she did just to be with her on Christmas. I was like,
That's
oh,
cool.
Man, that's so cool.
No, that's super cool.
Like, if I were that dad, I would do the same thing.
It's like if Steve were working a shift in the ED.
Oh,
on,
yeah, dude. I'd go
Christmas.
and, like, shoot myself in the leg.
I was going to say, I would just sever an artery and then go to the ER so I could hang out with Steve.
Terrible.
We got a bleeder.
I'd go OD on meth. Like,
terrible
hey,
way of doing
Steve. What's up?
Steve's
Hey,
like,
man.
Merry
Steve's like,
Christmas.
God damn it! Why couldn't you guys just leave me alone?
Hey guys, what's going on? Why are you guys here?
Why are you here? Oh,
I need a blood
JB shot himself
transfusion,
and I
bro.
stabbed myself.
Blood-
We're both bleeding to death.
Blunt
It's
force
cool.
trauma to the head, bro. I hit myself with a baseball bat.
Classic.
Oh,
What
fun.
you
I was
guys
trying to
would be
just trying to
willing to
dodge
do.
the draft.
Right?
JB, it's 2018. So
JB, there hasn't been a draft since Nom. No, it's
I
cool,
was trying. It was draft beer. I was trying
Selective
to dodge the draft
services,
beer.
dude.
I really want a bottle
dude.
beer.
Yeah.
Classico.
Try to avoid the draft, so I just drink out of cans.
Classico.
That's right.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Dude, Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year.
to all you little listeners, dude.
Yeah.
Better installments here coming your way on Project Reclamation. in
Feliz
2019.
Navidad
Faux
and
show.
Prospero Año y Felicidad.
Stephen Chang, do you have a quote to close us out?
Dude, you know what? I think I got one. I think I can dig up one here.
All right.
That's my buddy JD. Okay, now check this out.
Jack Daniels.
What he said. That's right, Mr. Jasper Daniels from Hill. I hope you realize that every day is a fresh start for you. That every sunrise is a new chapter in your life waiting to be written. Just think about that as you start the new year, man. New year, new you, right now, right you. Just do it.
But I like this because it's like new day, new you.
New day, new you.
So anything that went wrong today, fuck it. Tomorrow's a new day, new
Brand
chapter.
new. Could be 37 degrees.
And it's
in
up
San
to you to
Diego.
write that.
You just do it.
Just do it. Nike that shit.
Nike.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Under Armour. That's
Just chew it. Wait.
Just
do it.
Wait, what?
Just chew it.
Wow. You
What?
just- what?
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
I don't
Talking
even know,
about
man.
just being you.
I was
and just
distracted
going
by
after
Steve's
it.
hair.
It's my gorgeous hair.
His mane and
Gorgeous
tail
hair.
hair. It's luscious and beautiful.
My luscious, beautiful hair.
Well, on that note, just remember, it doesn't matter when you're listening to this. Still have a happy new year.
That's right.
Have a happy day.
That's right.
And
Happy
just remember,
day. That's what my son
whether
says all the
today
time.
was
He goes,
good
Happy
or
day,
not-
Daddy.
Yeah, whether today was good or not, fuck it. Tomorrow's a new day, and it's a new chapter that has yet to be written. That shit is up to y'all. So go out and get after it.
Get
Be good,
after
y'all.
it. Y'all be good.
Be good. And until we
Fleet.
talk again, have a good one.
Buenos nachos.
Yes, tacos and burritos.
Good nachos.
Later, y'all.
Peace.
So, what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.